Welcome back to 10 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Breout, sitting in the Kangen Motorsports studio, and across from me is nobody. Fucking nobody. Because couldn't be bothered. But
hey man, he's got a prep to ride in someone else's car to Lime Rock and to hang out at Lime Rock.
That's fair. I think he might actually be at work. But for the better, my narrative is better when he actually didn't work at all this week. And he just didn't want to show up to do a show. Because he had better things to do, he says. And the fans don't matter, he says.
The second time I've been on that he's bailed, so I get it.
So luckily, Eman has followed through on his promise to do a show for the fans so we can talk about Lime Rock prep, because you were going to Lime Rock for Gridlife, and then also Gridlife Mid-Ohio, because that literally just happened, which is basically a back-to-back event.
Yeah, I'm still recovering from injuries from that one.
Oh, we'll get into it.
I will give the disclaimer, if you're paying attention or watching this on the YouTube, if you watch closely, randomly, my screen may have $15 credits to eBay codes just, kind of on the YouTube screen. We'll see who uses them first. Maybe I'll read something. Maybe I'll read one off, while we're doing this.
That's hilarious.
Who claims it first?
I love it. Don't forget that if you hold it up to the camera, you have to be talking, because otherwise it'll show me. Whoever's talking. Yeah, the camera will always show who's talking. So. Well,
I'm not much to look at, so that'll work out.
Okay.
Just while I'm talking, I'll do that.
Yep, there you go. One cool thing, though, that I do want to mention, James from Kangen Motorsports, he gets to race in the support race for the IndyCar race weekend. So, they're doing an SRF, I think there's a 40-car field, and they're doing a support race for the IndyCar race.
That's nifty. Is that going to be streamed somewhere?
I hope so. I actually tagged IndyCar and Peacock when I shared it on Instagram and said that it better be streamed. Because everything's already set up. There's no reason for it not to be.
I agree. The data usage. If I've heard Adam Jabay complain about more than one thing ever,
the cost of a live stream. But hey, if you're already set up, what's an extra 40 minutes?
I would be curious what the operating time is of just 40 minutes worth of live streaming data. I gotta assume it's pretty wild.
But they're selling sponsorships. You can sell ad space. I'm paying to be on Peacock.
We've done it a few times with Drift Indy for some of our competition stuff. We'll live stream it to YouTube and stuff. But I know it's not cheap, especially out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I really hope they do, because obviously the Indy Lights race will be streamed, the Indy race will be streamed, and everything else. So, but I can't imagine they're going to have anyone there that's going to be knowledgeable enough to commentate all that stuff, or not. Maybe they'll surprise me, and it actually will be on Peacock, and that would make me very happy.
If you reach out to the international voice of Time Attack, his schedule's freed up lately, and
clearly he's busy. Can't be bothered to show up for a podcast.
I just meant his announcing schedule's cleared up a little bit.
He could use some announcing jobs. Is what we're saying here. He would be good at it. Problem is, though, he wouldn't know any of the SRF builds like he does Time Attack.
That's fair. He's a walking encyclopedia. It's great. And that's one of my favorite things about him going with us to Mid-Ohio or to any of the Gridlifes is, Adam, what's up with that car? Oh, that's so-and-so, and it's got this, 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 and this. And last year he did this, and next year he's going to do this.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. He's been that way his whole life. We remember skating. He would know everything about the skater, the tricks, the names, the difficulty level. Oh man, we could literally be watching a video, and the guy would do he'd do a hard spin, whatever, super difficult grind, and I'd see it one time and have to rewind it, watch in slow motion, be like, what the fuck did I just watch? He'd be like, oh yeah, that was a hard spin 540. And I'm blanking on acid or whatever into a whatever, and I'm like, he just saw it one time and knew exactly what it was.
I've always hated that. I've never understood how you can just watch skateboarding and oh yeah, that was this. And it's like, man, I need to watch that in slow motion. I need to figure out what's going on there. And I can't grasp it. I don't know if my mind just can't compute it fast enough, but it's like, I've never been able to keep up with that. Even if it's something like, I've always enjoyed watching skateboarding. I've never, when, going through school and stuff like that, I played hockey. So I never really, all my attention was devoted to doing stupid stuff and skating. So I never got really into skateboarding and like more inline skating, like doing tricks and stuff, other than just jumping over stuff because I was really fast. And that's about it. So it's like, how do you memorize like just the names of this and pick it out pinpoint by pinpoint?
See it?
Also,
oh yeah,
that's
like
code number 1 right there.
Yeah, anyone that's paying attention on YouTube. Yeah, nope. That is one of Adam's party tricks, is that he knows everything about everything. Like literally, if he sees it once, he'll fucking remember forever. And I have to see it and study it, and I still forget it. And then I get told a few more times, and then I still forget it, even if it's really important to me, and I'll still forget it. Luckily, Google has all my passwords saved, so I don't have to remember them because I'll forget them.
Yeah, if my iPhone didn't save like all the little things for me, I'd have like a piece of paper in my wallet scribbled out.
Yeah.
A lot more password 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah. High school and college was hard for me. I don't remember shit. I don't remember shit. Like I had to work twice as hard to get half the grades. But then there's Adam, who just showed up, took the test, and aced it. Anyways. But yeah, so hopefully they stream the SRF race on the IndyCar race. That'd be cool. I actually don't remember what race it is. I assume it's like Laguna Seca or something.
Even cooler. That's definitely one of those races that's like kind of a bucket list track. That's like, I'm going to spend more time driving to the racetrack with my truck and trailer and back just to do an event there, because it's just one of those tracks I really want to drive. I want to go down the corkscrew so bad.
Yeah, that and Willow Springs. Jabay really sold me on Willow Springs.
Yeah, yep. And bless my wife, she when they announced that, she's like, "Well, we have the truck and trailer. I can't take that kind of time off work, but I really want to."
I get to do one event this year, apparently.
Hey man, the fact that she's on board with it, it's the same thing. Like my buddy Sean wants to drive. He's got an '88 911 that he wants to drive to California for Pebble Beach or one of the Porsche gatherings, and we're talking about going with him and maybe driving the Datsun when it's ever back together, or
So this is way out in the future, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically. Well, and I was hoping to position myself into buying a friend selling an '87 911. I was hoping to position myself to purchase, but now that we have a kid on the way, that
changes everything.
That might not happen for a while. So, yeah, but the fact that she's on board of driving a 50-year-old car across the country without air conditioning,
that'd be awesome.
The winner.
Yeah. Not a lot of wives and girlfriends sign up for that.
Real low standards on her side. She,
it says a lot about her with her patience and her willingness to settle. So
we all know she's a saint.
She is easily one of the most patient and kind people I've ever met. So watching Matt Williams trying to coax her into putting 2 wheels off the track at Heartland Park last year, because that was her first HPDE ever, and
they were running a fast 8, and she had her racing line down. She just needed to add speed to the equation, and then finally, like, I'm up on the skid pad on the wall with Matt watching her come through, and he sees her coming around. That'd be 7, and he's like, "I told her to put 2 over the rumble strip in the grass," and I was like, "You did what?" And like, as I said that, she did it. She put 2 in it, and we both just lost our minds. I was like, first of all, why would you tell her to do that? He was like, "What's the fast line?" I was like, "She's a beginner in HPDE. She's not going to win the track day here. What are we doing?"
There's a lot of speed still with the line that she had.
Yep. But she had a blast, and she's, she decided that if she's going to spend money on doing car stuff, she's going to go to the dark side and continue drifting with me. So,
man, I take back everything nice I said about her then, I guess.
Hey, man, she's got an S14. You gotta be on her side.
That is true. Does hers run?
It has a VQ in it, so.
Well, that's good. My VQ runs, her VQ runs, Dusty's VQ runs.
Mine doesn't.
Yours doesn't. Yeah, we got to.
Mine's sitting next to the car. It will run. It just got a tube front, so.
All right, we can talk about that. This is your S13, right?
Yep. The S13, it saw a wall last year and got straightened out, front end cut off, tube fronted. And I basically just threw the book at it. And
is this the one that you bought last year? Well, because you sent a picture of one that had like I thought it was like a really skinny cage, like this, like the tubing inside.
Oh, that was the hatch. So
okay,
I went down last time I was on. Yeah, I had just bought a hatch down in Tennessee with a cage in it.
Okay, that's the one I'm picturing. I actually don't remember much about this car.
After pulling the body kit and stuff off the white one, it was crumpled at some point and then kind of fixed, and it was just.
So it was a 240.
It was very so-so, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of this. So I snagged the coilovers off of it and sold the car, and made a couple $100 and was fine. I ended up buying this coupe from one of my buddies. Started the swap, gave up. So I finished his VQ swap in it. So my S13 has a VQ in it now. CDO9, Fortunato coilovers, the full GK Tech catalog, drop knuckles and all that fun stuff. Sill front, full aero. It's going to be full hot boy car. Like just real silly. I got this crazy, it's like a pink tangerine kind of grapefruit color vinyl with like bass boat flake in it. And that's going to be the livery on a white car. So it's going to be loud, and we got some big dumb chrome 3-piece wheels, and you're going to see the car and be like, man, that dude probably sells Coke. I mean,
hey, you got to pay for it somehow, I guess. No judgment.
Kind of
no judgment
drift
here.
Cars, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the whole point of drift cars is look at me. I mean, it is. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying, like, that's like the whole point of a drift car is to literally go into a crowd and yell, "Everyone, here, right here!" Even more so than a race car.
The people, like, I pulled the 350Z out of the trailer lately this past season because the S13's been down, and that car was someone else's time attack build that ran actually out by Joe King. Joe knew the previous owner. And I mean, it's a lovely car. It's great to drive.
So they spent money in the right spots on that Z of yours.
Yeah, those brakes are no joke. I mean, the little front splitter thing, like it has like the little lip, that extends all the way back to the firewall.
Oh, so it's like a proper flat, almost like a splitter.
Yeah, like it doesn't have the front protrude. It doesn't protrude out forward, but that front carbon fiber lip wraps and goes clean back to the firewall.
Okay, so you have like a proper under tray.
Yeah, I mean it's the full width and all the way back to the firewall. Link ECU, Mishimoto oil cooler, Mishimoto radiator, big fans. All of these things that, I mean, it could make more power than it makes currently, but he did all these modifications to keep it running cool. And I mean, it does. It runs great. And it's a proper, just burn down laps kind of car. And I've been doing dual duty between it and drifting. And I remember rolling through tech the first time and at the drift event, and the guy goes, "You have pretty serious brakes for a drift car." And it's like, well, last weekend it was at Road America.
Doing what it was supposed to do.
Yeah. It's been great, and it's only got a little damage. It got booped last event. I took a tire in the door. That wasn't a wall. That was somebody else, because of tandeling? Yeah, that was another 350Z.
Did you ever put a cage in that? Or a roll bar?
Got a 4-point behind the seats, kind of like what you started with, I think.
All right, I guess that's better than nothing.
I mean,
Tandeming without a cage.
Oh
Oh my god. You drifters.
Yeah,
and
there's a video. It was like a 5-car train,
Yep.
and the guy in front of me shallowed up his line to get around. Someone kicked out like a cone or something, and he missed that, and I stayed on my line and then tried to adjust accordingly, and I lost it. And the 350Z right next to me, his wheel at full lock hit my door where it meets the quarter panel, and my wheel at full lock hit his door where it meets his like front fender.
So he got lucky. So yeah, he's only replacing a fender.
He did a fender and a door.
Yep.
I did a door and had my body guy pull the quarterback out and smooth it out. It looks great. And inner tie rod had a 90-degree corner in it.
So it was just like Road America.
No, Road America, my tie rod was straight. It was just loose. I had like
an inch and a half a toe.
Yeah. Hey, we got it straightened out. And I did this. I mean, we swapped it out. That happened the last session Friday night, and I was on track the next morning at 9 a.m.
Oh, perfect.
Swapped the inner. I had toe plates with me, and just after Road America, toe plates just stay in my trailer now.
Yep. Yeah, my trailer has every possible tool that it can fit. So, where was I going to go with that? Oh, the purple. So your Z is the fancy purple color.
Brickyard red.
Yeah,
it is purple though.
It's purple, but have you discovered what that costs to replace painting?
$30.
No shit.
So I don't know about you guys, but like our Napa, if you go into Napa, the ones that have a paint center,
yep,
they will mix up any factory color into a single stage and put it into an aerosol can for you.
Oh,
for
damn.
Like $30. So I did that. The color match is spot on, and then
shit,
2K clear.
Yeah, the same stuff I used on my carbon wing.
Yeah, that has like the hardener on the bottom.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I still need to do the quarter panel. I haven't done that, but I bought if the 350Z doesn't go up for sale. It's supposed to go up for sale, but it might not. If it doesn't, I got a spare hatch that luckily was already Brickyard. I got it from the same car I got the door from. But it has, I bought the rear spats that go on the back bumper and a little lip spoiler and like a roof wing, like just to make a little more, like my taste, and maybe sell the APR off the back of it. But I already painted all that stuff and it matches great. So
I thought you had a Voltex on the back.
I think it's an APR.
Are you sure?
Maybe it's a Voltex.
I don't remember. I thought it was Voltex. Never mind. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a big.
It's a large carbon fiber spoiler that
yeah.
may be up for sale at some point.
Yeah.
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 I don't know.
I'll say I almost talked myself into a Link ECU this year.
There's no reason. Why would you? There's no reason for this car to have one.
Because I couldn't find a place to uprev to tune it with uprev.
You got that sorted out. I was about to say, Soho Motorsports. I have a buddy that works there. They are the VQ shop. They have some gnarly 350Zs that do all sorts of records. They are going to tune my S13's ECU. I'm going to send it to them. They're going to flash it, and then it's going to come back to me with a cable and the ECU.
Oh, nice.
And they are going to have me data log, and I'm going to send it to them, and they're going to adjust the tune accordingly.
Yeah, so what I was probably going to do, I was going to have admin tuning do a remote tune. I was going to rent the dyno here in town and then just have him do it remotely. And then I found a place in Kansas City that is an official uprev tuner, and they actually did a really incredible job. So I'm glad I didn't spend the money to get a Link, because I didn't need it, because the uprev does a lot. Like I'm shocked at what the stock ECU can do.
Yeah, when I found out that it had a Link in it, I was like, this. I mean, it's a nice thing to have on the parts list. When I bought the car, I think I got a smoking deal on it, and
well, then you can go to any tuner and get it tuned. So that's convenient.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been on a dyno. It's never been dyno tuned, but I know what it makes. It's a healthy car.
What are you putting down for power?
276, I think, or 275. It's like
No shit.
275.
Wow.
What'd you make?
Last year I was 246, and now I'm at 220.
Remember, mine's got an intake manifold, a header back, and injectors.
Yeah, it's a little more built up than mine.
I mean, he did all that in the name of getting it to breathe better and whatnot. So he did all of those things so it would stay cooler for more hot laps.
Perfect.
And so it's like, you can't hate that. The oil pressure is just magnificent. I love that. That car is awesome.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know why I'm thinking about selling it.
You shouldn't.
Well, see that one over it'd be your right shoulder. Yeah. I would like to get that back on the road. I want to throw more money at it because I'm an idiot.
You can do both. Yeah.
Plus the S14, the 510, the Barracuda.
Yeah.
I got a lot of cars to play with.
I mean, you got all this time and money, and I mean, it's not like you have right.
No.
I guess you just don't have time or money anymore. Sorry, man.
We'll see.
So you drove the Z at Mid-Ohio, and then you're taking that to Lime Rock this weekend?
Yeah. Lime Rock, once again, I was less concerned. I wanted the Datsun to be done for Mid-Ohio. The machine shop really has slowed me down. They are taking their sweet time because they don't understand how to work on a car that has a cradle instead of main caps and stuff like that because it needed line honed, and it's been a whole thing.
Huh.
I really wanted to take the Datsun to Lime Rock. Just it seemed right, car at that track and all. But the 350Z is going with me. Tomorrow night I'm gonna pull it out of the trailer. It hasn't left the trailer since Mid-Ohio, so I'm gonna pull it out of the trailer tomorrow night and nut and bolt it and check fluids and all that stuff, and then just shove it right back in the trailer. Fill up the generator, get the fresh set of sheets for the bed in the trailer, and be good to go.
Perfect. No, that'd be fun. That was on the list of events I wanted to go to. It doesn't work out. It's a long ways away, and yeah,
it's a long ways away.
It'll be a lot of fun. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am definitely missing out on a good event, but.
Yeah, it's my last Gridlife until Topeka.
Oh yeah, because you won't be going to Alpine.
No, that falls on the biggest event around here the same weekend, or maybe it's the weekend before, and I can't.
Plus, it's probably like a 20-hour drive for you.
Oh, I'd fly at that point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hate going to an event and not driving.
Yes.
That one would be real hard to convince myself. My wife would be like, yeah, let's do it. I would. The whole time I'm driving, I'm like, this is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb for 20 hours.
Well, you could drive to Des Moines and crash here for free. Then we could drive together. It'd be great.
I'd also take more time off work. My boss would just
It's fine.
be ecstatic.
Yeah, it's fine.
It'd be different if I had, like, a whole bunch of permit drawings I could be working on or something on the road, but
Of course.
not at the moment.
But how was Mid-Ohio?
Oh,
What?
Mid-Ohio was a good time. So in the beginning of Petrolbox, there was a couple other gentlemen that were involved, and one of them was named Devin Perlenfine, and we ran into each other at a car thing and a few weeks ago. And, we were chit-chatting back and forth. And, I was like, man, you should really come drive a Gridlife event. It's a good time. And he has a first-gen MR2 that is Camry V6 swapped.
Okay.
That he built when he was like 17. And he's got a second-gen MR2 that is Camry V6 swapped with a TRD supercharger on E85.
Fun.
The second gen MR2 just got painted, so he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I would hate if something happened to it." And I was like, "Fine, then bring the Mark 1." So this was literally, I think, 3 weeks before, maybe 2.5 weeks before the event, and he's like, "Well, maybe." And probably about 11 o'clock at night at this point, and I hopped on the Gridlife for sale page, and I was just like, "Who's got a ticket to Mid Ohio? I need to scumbag a friend." And yeah, we found him a ticket within a couple days. I had him on the phone with G-Lock, and G-Lock got him pads like the night before he left. So he got the rears in, realized the front, or 2 nights before, got the rears in, and realized that they sent the wrong fronts because of some misinformation he gave them.
Yep.
And the G-Lock was awesome and shipped them to the track.
Oh,
so
yeah.
pick those up at the front gate of the track. So he had them for Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, we went up. Dalton took the Southway down around Chicago, so he actually met me in Columbus, and we stopped and got some wings and all that fun jazz. There is a great picture I sent you of that ridiculous trailer coming down the highway.
Yeah, I see it on the interstate, just going off the exit.
Yeah, so that like entrance, that ramp he was on goes over the highway as you go. The main highway goes under it.
Yep.
And I'm cruising along pretty good just because I was running late, and I'm coming up the highway, and I just see this idiotic sized trailer going across like above, on the ramp above everybody. I'm just like, what kind of timing is that? Look at that stupid trailer. It's just Dalton putting along, and of course, within a minute of getting next to each other on the highway, he's like, "You want to see whose truck's faster?" And I was like, luckily, we don't have to have the disclaimer about we don't own street racing, because it was a 55 to 65 mile an hour kind of race, and he was surprised that the 6-liter was able to get away from him.
Well, yeah, you're pulling a small trailer with one car in it.
Yeah.
So, what did y'all have in it? Like, he had the Corvette, Sam's Fit.
The Corvette and Sam's Fit, and that was it. He didn't even bring the Camaro.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they brought more than 2 cars or not for that trailer that fits 4.
I don't think that trailer could handle 4 anymore, or 3.
No, it would not be smart to have that many cars in there anymore.
She's struggling. It was entertaining watching that come down the road, and then we got some dinner.
The funny thing about that is we got 2 messages of people taking a picture of that trailer and then listening to the podcast and then commenting on their first experience listening to the podcast.
What'd they have to say?
Good things, actually.
Nice.
Like, one person I think he's a trucker, and he saw it and he listened to it and then commented on YouTube, like a paragraph and a half comments about seeing the trailer, then giving it a shot and liking the show, and then he's going to go and listen to him now.
Nice.
Which is,
he's going to be disappointed.
Well, I mean, if he wasn't disappointed in the first episode, I mean, he knows what he's getting into at that point.
Every now and then, on days where I have a lot of seat time in the truck, I listen to some of the older ones. And
I know.
I happen to come
because you like to send me a message like, "Remember when you said in 2018 about?" No, I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I came across the one where Adam was talking, and it sounded like he was in witness protection.
That episode. Oh god, his audio just cut out, and it just completely jacked up his audio. I assumed it was just on my end. I was like, well, we can't stop anything. Can't do anything about it.
He just sounded like he was in witness protection the entire time. It was so good.
Oh, technology.
That was when the world was introduced to Dalton Klein.
Oh, man. It's been all downhill from here.
For me, it really has been, thanks to you guys. Because after that, I had to meet him in New Orleans.
Yep. Wow.
But yeah, so that was the beginning of Mid-Ohio. Was getting Devin set up and then meeting up with Dalton. We get up there and we're trying to figure out where he's going to park this stupid thing. And I get parked and there's someone loading up some Formula, I don't know what. They look like little...
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be Formula 5000, Formula Mazdas. You sent a picture. I can't remember what they were. Indy Lights. They were doing Indy Light testing at Road America when we were there.
Yeah, they had 3 of them. and like a stacker and everything. And so Dalton was waiting for them to leave, and he took their spot. And then right behind him, Tommy parked the Bango. And oh yeah, not once did that thing get called a Winnebago. It's just the Bango.
The Bango.
And he bought a 24-foot enclosed trailer for $2,000. That
oh boy,
she's rough.
You don't say.
He's made it a lot better.
Yeah, I mean,
but like when you stood inside of it, you can like it looks like lighting in a movie theater. The lights just come up the walls from the floor because they're not all that well attached. And he starts setting up his his whole setup. He puts the area rug down and then gets the hot tub out and then gets the slushy machine out and then pulls the Festiva out and like it's a whole thing and it's great. Everyone like people were stopping and just taking pictures and just loving it.
I was hoping he was going to bring all that. I'm glad he did.
Oh yeah, and then he stayed Monday and Tuesday for an event. He ended up running there, which is terrifying because that car is
that's like crazy
so fast.
Yeah, so he's got a I don't have a picture of it. He's got a Festiva that's got a bunch of work done to it.
Well,
it's got enough. It's got power.
So if you have a Festiva, you can put a BP 1.8 in it. So basically a Miata motor.
Yep.
Or I think that's the Escort GT motor, if I remember correctly. But still, it's a 1.8 Miata motor swapped into it, which apparently just falls right in. And then it has a turbo he got for $29 off of Craigslist or Marketplace.
So it's like a Godspeed
he thinks it's
T28.
something like a GT30R or a 35R off eBay.
That sounds all right.
And a Mega Squirt, and then it's gutted on sticky little tires that are like 165s. And we found out this weekend on the dyno, thanks to Josh Fettis and Ryan, it makes 230 wheel horsepower, unless it has the air filter on, and then it only makes 221.
That's how bad his air filter was?
Oh, it's smushed. It should be like a cone filter that's the same diameter length, like the full length, like maybe 4-inch diameter, and it's like 5 or 6 inches long.
Yep.
But it's smashed into like an hourglass shape behind his headlight.
Oh, jeez.
The turbo's in the grill. It looks sweet.
That's
amazing. We let Devin drive it, and I was in the car with him. And he turns out of the racetrack onto that main little road there, and he rolls into it in first, grabs second, and just starts laughing his ass off. He's like, "You've got to be shitting me."
It's got no business being this fast.
It's so fast, and it tracks weirdly straight for what it is. And like the steering wheel is like loose, and it's like driving a school bus. It's like laid down, and you kind of got to, if you're going to shift, you got to stiffen one arm because it's gonna kind of wander a little bit, and it's a riot. That car, I would have no interest in driving it down like the straight headed to China Beach like that. That seems terrible.
Yeah, it's a bad day waiting to happen.
That car's so fast. It's great. But and now it's on like chrome 3-spoke wheels, which is even better. Like the really bad looking chrome 3-spoke wheels.
Yeah, I figured.
But it looks great as a whole package. I had to run into town to get some pieces for the Z, and I took it, and people are just loving it.
Just stop and then stare.
Yeah. But so we all got set up Thursday night there. Started wandering around, ran into Matt Williams, all that kind of fun stuff. It wasn't too crazy of a night. Devin, the first night, actually slept in my trailer until my wife showed up the next day. He spent the weekend sleeping under his tonneau cover in the bed of his truck on an air mattress.
That's not a lot of room.
Especially because he was putting his head at the front of the truck bed, not at the tailgate, which terrifies me.
Does it
it's
fit?
Like a coffin.
Yeah, does it actually, like, the bed actually fit?
Yeah, it's like he blew it up to fit in there and then let some air out so he could fit between the hard tonneau cover and the mattress. And it's like that, dude.
Have you ever seen the movie Buried?
I had no interest in that sleeping arrangement. And then we ended up with some pretty serious rain.
It looked like it rained because I know Dusty kind of talked himself out of it, obviously, and then came and helped us in Colorado, and he was not mad about his decision.
So it only rained bad once, and then the track dried out, and we still got a dry session after that. While it rained, Dalton and Tommy and the rest of the Festiva boys were wakeboarding behind Tommy's. I don't know what you call that thing. I don't know if it's a golf cart or what.
It's more like a utility vehicle, but yeah, it's like a golf cart.
It's got a steel diamond plate body on it, and but it's all rusty and shit, and it's great though, and it puts along pretty good. But they were like wakeboarding behind it, and then they were a slip and slide down through the grass on Spectator Hill and stuff. Just they were taking full advantage of a free water park day.
Yeah, so the video of Dalton in his underwear getting pulled, it's not even a wakeboard because it's the lid of a cooler.
It's the lid off his cooler.
So he's standing on that, getting pulled behind the golf cart, and then just eats shit. And that video got shared everywhere.
Yeah, I'm glad that's the eating shit behind that cart video that got shared. I'm glad there's not a video of the one that happens later in the weekend we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time. Dalton actually got to do some laps in the Corvette. I don't remember what he ended up getting down to. He was moving pretty quick though.
Yeah, I mean he's finally starting to get he's starting to get comfortable with the car. I know I wanted to have him on to talk about it. But yeah, I think he's finally
got down to like a 134. I mean, which is fast, and then Jackie Ding shows up, and
shows you what fast really is.
Yeah, or Ferris. Jackie shows you what really fast is, and then Ferris just shows you what stupid is.
Yeah, scary.
It is insane, and it doesn't look that ludicrous going around the track. We made sure to get to watch a lot of it, and it doesn't look that ludicrous going around that track because we were watching right after China Beach. So we see the end of that real hard braking zone, and that's it. And Ferris ran a 1:23.5.
That's so fast.
And Jimmy, I'm not sure his name, that 911, that white GT2.
Oh yeah,
was a 1:27. That was the next fastest lap.
Jeez, that's a jump,
right?
That's
Jackie.
That's still 2 seconds off of Ferris's record. I think his record's 121 or something.
Jackie showed up in the Supra, did a 1:28.8, and Mr. Klein is all the way down. Oh, where is he at? Dalton Klein, 1:34.
1:34.
Yeah. So, almost 10 seconds off of the other Corvette.
He's probably got quite a bit less horsepower, though. And
I like you put the qualifier. Probably.
I think he does. I mean, he doesn't have a super high strung engine. I mean,
I'm pretty sure Ferris has about triple the horsepower.
Almost triple, yes.
So, but I mean, don't get me wrong. Dalton was still moving, and he picked up speed the whole weekend. That car, he is definitely getting more comfortable with. And God, it sounds glorious in that car.
It's finally running right. I think besides his power steering blowing up or whatever he was, because then the cap came off.
Yeah, cap rattled itself loose. Well, rattled
itself loose. He definitely didn't forget to tighten it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Just like the wiring going to his coil pack or something, it worked itself loose. It wasn't, installed incorrectly.
Definitely not. But he's got, his ABS is working now. His ECU is tuned for that sequential now, so it does fuel cuts correctly. So I think he's finally able to turn laps and not constantly be fucking with the car.
Oh yeah, he pulled off. Didn't have a whole lot of tinkering to do, and I mean he was burning down some laps. And God, it sounds good. That sequential sounds so cool inside the car.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely jealous of that. It was a good weekend though. Dan Malloy was there in the Mazda 2, and Joe co-drove that with him. Sam was there in the Fit. I think I would have to look at my times. I think I got down to a 146.7. I think was my fastest.
All right.
But I was on kind of a joke of a tire. So
What are you running?
Kenda Care 28s in the front and
drift tires. Got it.
And Federal 595s in the rear.
Well, Federals aren't. I mean, they're not going to set any records, but they're not terrible tires for track days.
Yeah, but I could have gone with a lot wider too, because that was a 245 and a 255.
Okay, yeah, you have a lot of room under there for tire.
Yeah, I just had such a hard time spinning the tires on something that if I was only going to be doing this in it, I would get a 10.5-inch wide wheel setup, and I would go to 275s, and
yep,
I feel like I would have picked up a hell of a lot of pace. And then I would, if I was buying tires just for this, I'd buy RS4s. But because
you want something faster than that.
I don't care that much. And at the end of the day, I'm just a scumbag drifter, and all that this road racing does is perfectly heat cycle tires for drifting. So that was in the back of my mind. I was like, yeah, these Kendas going to be great for No Star Bash. Same with these Federals. Perfect.
Did you just run HPD, or did you make the jump to time attack?
I just ran HPDE. My original intention was going to be to jump into time attack, but that car with the random modifications it has puts me in some weird classes. And honestly, at the end of the day, I won't be competitive enough in those classes until unless I build something specific.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to be a rolling chicane for guys that are trying.
It's fine.
I don't, I just need.
They'll put you in the run. You'll be in the run
with.
You'll be in the run group that won't be with Dalton Klein because it's based on lap times, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That one guy that's trying to get this little wood placard, I'm going to be in his way for some stupid class, and
you worry about that too much. You won't be.
It's the Midwest the Middle East in me.
Yeah, you're the Middle East. I'm the Midwest.
Center.
That is true.
But yeah,
you used Apex Pro all weekend though.
I did for a good portion of the weekend. I want to get a little bit further into that. I'm going to use it at Lime Rock before I give it back.
Yep. I don't need it to Alpine, so that works out.
And I'm going to have Joe said that he would help me go through some of the stuff on it. I'm getting into it. The Datsun technically falls in Club TR.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
I would be so slow compared to them.
Yeah, start somewhere, man.
My car just doesn't make the power, and
to make the power
it needs to make.
It's fine. You gotta start somewhere.
You're not wrong.
I had the slowest car at Gridlife one time. A lot of things were broken on it. Ran every session.
We're behind Fitz.
I was. Yeah, shit was broken. It's faster now.
So detune it?
Yeah, I detuned it and it's still faster.
So yeah, that was just an HPDE. I'll finish out the season doing that just as I figure out what I want to do. Ideally, the Barracuda will end up as my track car. It's got a cage in it, and that all meets the rules. And depending on what engine ends up in it, it'll be real entertaining. And then I will be in the same stupid class that Dalton's in, and
perfect.
On the track time, we'll be near each other.
Then he can be in his way.
Yeah. Man, Dusty's a bad influence. Watching the brown Camaro go around, I'm just like, yeah,
all of that.
That's like, I'm never going to be the front of my class. I'm going to build what's going to put a smile on my face while I'm driving it, and a loud, 60-year-old car seems like that's going to fit the bill.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Sorry, we keep getting off topic.
Yeah, we keep talking about track
Mid Ohio.
Yeah, track stuff.
So yeah, Saturday was pretty uneventful.
Minus the rain.
That was Friday.
Oh,
Friday was the rain. Friday was the rain, and then it dried up. that's when we decided to see how many people we could put on Tommy's golf cart.
Okay.
15.
That
15.
is a lot of people.
Yeah. You had 2 on the front, hold on to the windshield. You had 2 or 3 on the roof, and then a bunch on the back, and 3 in it. It was great.
Did you know that more people have died because of golf cart accidents at Road Atlanta than people have actually died because of cars at Road Atlanta?
Road Atlanta or Road America?
Probably both.
Say Road America, that's a steep hill. I could see that.
So I think,
and in fairness, I almost died on a golf cart at Mid-Ohio. So yeah, I could definitely see it.
The more I go to these events, the more I understand how true that statement probably is.
Well, so while we were waiting on Hooten, I think it was Hooten, TSX, K-Swap.
Yeah, James Houghton.
Yeah, Houghton. Waiting on him to get fuel for it while I was on the dyno. We were getting the golf cart to do wheelies. And the great videos that are there, everyone thinks are in slow motion. It's like, no, it's just doing it that slowly. And the best thing is Tommy's sitting in there just sawing at the wheel like it's going to turn, and then it gets set down on the wheels at full lock and just shoots sideways. And yeah, it was. Is
that when your coordination showed its true colors?
No, that was no. That's still out. But no, that was just hanging out doing that, and we got to catch Eric Cattill's new Civic on the dyno. That car is
so
sick.
Good, so good. Such a cool build.
The fact that he's driving it from the back seat basically in a sedan, and it's that low on 18s with great suspension travel still. And I mean, still plenty competitive, and God, yeah, that car is sick. Absolutely love that build.
Yep. Yeah, if you say Eric Cattill Racing on Instagram, you should definitely check it out if you haven't already.
He actually this past weekend drove it to Cars and Coffee.
I saw that. He posted it in the GLTC group chat.
We actually have a few GLTC cars show up. Him and Fields in the Miller High Life BMW.
Yep.
He's driven that to Cars and Coffee also. Yeah, it's always entertaining seeing that. You hear it coming down in the distance, and those are aggressive brakes I'm hearing. Oh, hey, look, there it is.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense now.
Chandler Rowe, he's one of the Gridlife instructors. He's got a white E92 M3, and it has some insane brakes on. I don't remember what they are. They start with a P maybe, but those things, they are full race brake that sound just obnoxious the whole time. And he street drifts it like that, and it sounds so broken. And it's like, no, they're just super aggressive. When I broke the diff in my car, and he trailered my car home, and I drove his. They're so touchy. They're great, even when they're cold. Just put you in the seatbelt. But I've been joking with Jabay because he's one of the Gridlife instructors, and Sarah, my wife, was signed up for a drift clinic, for beginners, and we found out she was pregnant, and so we decided probably not the best idea to stick her in a drift car.
You don't say.
All right. And hey, and to her credit, she at least asked the doctor. She was so bummed to miss out on driving. She asked the doctor beforehand. She's like, "Are you sure I can't?"
What's the risk here?
So I reached out to Chandler and I was like, "Hey man, you want to go do something stupid?" And he's like, "Yep, sign me up." So he went and did that, and that whole clinic was basically in the rain. So the very next event, he did his first lap in the dry and linked to the track in that car. And he's sitting in grid and texting. He goes, "I think I need to dial in a little more rear grip." And then a second later, text me and he just goes, "Dare me to tap the wall." I was like, what? You're going to set 30 airbags off in that car? That's a terrible idea. But,
Did he?
I mean, no, but he got bumper tapped an event or two later by one of our friends. And then I watched him in grid pull up and bump one of our buddies in front of him with that car. He bumped a car, like an E36 BMW with his E92. And I'm joking. I was like, oh, I'm about to do it to him. And then I thought about it, and I have my tow hook in the front of the 350Z. And I was like, I'm going to bumper tap him and set every single airbag off in that car because it's going to penetrate that bumper. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, it's going to hit that one sensor just in the right spot.
Right. But no, he's got, I think, a tire mark on the door now, and I think a little bit of scuff on the back bumper, but he's kept it in one piece. However, he will be driving it in No Star Bash, which is,
oh boy,
3 days, 12 hours each day of track time, 200 drivers. It is
it a competition?
The best event of the season. It's so much fun.
Is it a competition, or is it just
driving?
Okay.
Having fun with your friends. No competition. It's just camping at the racetrack. There'll be vendors and a car show and all that kind of stuff. But it is sun up to sundown. There'll be a line for single run cars. They'll send them every like 30 or 40 seconds, depending on the track layout, because there's typically a crossover to get back up onto the bank. And then there'll be a line or two of the party line that's just, they'll send, basically you roll into grid, and as you get closer to the line, you'll see hands go out the window, and you hold up, 1, 3, 4, 5, however many cars you want to tandem with that you're comfortable with.
Yep.
You get in line with your buddies, you hold 3 out the window or whatever, and then you see some idiot that throws like the train, like a trucker horn symbol, the hand gesture for trucker horns. You see that, and they just send the whole line, and there'll be 15, 20 cars go, and it's a riot, man.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so he's all consumed. He's trying to figure out how to have a drift car and not sell the E92 so he can continue doing track day stuff. So
we'll sell one of your cars once you get it fixed.
Oh, he wants more BMWs because he's an idiot.
That seems to be a thing. Once you have one, that's all you buy. They're as bad or worse than Subaru owners.
Don't you race with a BMW owner?
What's that?
Don't you race with a BMW owner?
Yes. So I am well versed in this.
But yeah, man, we keep getting off topic.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't like anything weird or exciting happen?
So we had wheelie night Friday night.
Yep.
And then Saturday night was pretty tame. Everyone was hanging out. Or Saturday during the day, everyone's hanging out. ASM did their block party.
Yep.
Always a good time. We may have spray painted an ASM livery onto the golf cart.
I noticed that it was parked next to all the ASM cars.
So I drove it down there looking for everyone, and then Tommy goes, "I got an idea. Do you have any spray paint?" And then I'm in my work truck, so yeah. So we go back up to the top, back out on the upper paddock. We spray paint ASM on it, and I toss him the can, and it hits him in the chest and sprays him.
Oh no!
Just a quick, and he like looks down at this crazy like Hawaiian shirt he's wearing and just goes, "Oh, my golf shirt." But we go back down there, and he hard parks. It gets the angle and everything just right, and of course the Gridlife media guys flock to it. They love what's happening, and I don't know if any of the actual ASM guys noticed what was going on or not,
or found it funny.
Right. So we're down there for a little bit for the cookout and all of that, which always, once again, super nice of them. And God, they know how to flex. When they were leaving the track, they had a 6-car like stacker wedge open trailer.
Yep.
With 6 S2000s on it. God, it was cool looking. I'm sure it's annoying to pull because there's always people trying to take pictures and just cruising next to your blind spot to look at the cars. But God, that thing was sick. Yeah,
it's crazy how many cars they open trailer to the events like that.
Oh yeah,
and they're all ASM all the same branded S2000s.
Yeah, and it looks so cool loaded up like that.
Yep.
But while we were down there, we got the word that Gabby, Tommy's angel of a girlfriend. God, she's
I
she's a saint.
said Sarah is the most patient and kindest person I've ever met. I've never met Gabby, but she probably holds that crown.
Rivals Sarah.
Yeah.
She rivals Sarah. And he gets the word that Gabby's here, and he hops in the golf cart, and I stand up on the back because it's like a pickup truck bed thing with a whole roof.
Yep.
And we've been riding around on that all weekend because it's a little cramped inside. So standing on the back, holding onto the roof, perfectly fine, all the way there, all the way up. We're waiting for Gabby to get through with her paperwork, and there's a couple of Mid-Ohio employees at the gate while she's signing her waiver, and I was polite and offered them all a beverage because we had a cooler with us, and they turned it down. Oh, well, we can't because we're working or whatever. And it's like, oh, well, that's fair. Any of you guys narcs? No. Well, it sounds like you guys can have a drink. Well, no narcs here. I mean, why not?
It's fine.
So we get going, and as we're pulling into the paddock, we're going down that big steep hill into Mid-Ohio, and Tommy kicks it out of gear because it will go faster than the governor will allow it to go.
So you just coast it.
Because you're just coasting at that point. And according to Gabby, we were doing probably about 25. And for whatever reason, Tommy decided we should test the handling capabilities of said golf cart. Cuts the wheel left, cuts the wheel right. He zigged, I zagged. I got thrown off the back at roughly 20, 25 miles an hour. And Gabby's wording, because she was right there behind us in her Jeep, it started out so well. You were falling exactly how you should fall until the side rail caught your foot, and then it all went wrong. I landed
the least graceful way possible.
Hey, man, at least my head broke my fall. All right.
That's the hardest part of your body, man. If that's
yeah. So I landed pretty hard. I tore through the top of my shoe, which made me sad. Of course, I was in shorts, so knees were obliterated. My palm was obliterated. Upon further inspection, I'm pretty sure that my wrist was fractured.
Hey, me too.
Just a really, really bad sprain.
I did that. Like, remember when I was skating like a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Almost a month ago? I swear it's getting worse. It's been like a month.
Like shredded the palm of my hand, like shredded it. Down the side of my head, behind my ear.
From your eyebrow up across the side of your head, down past your ear. Just like a big old...
And it got the back of my ear, which I didn't know until later.
Oh, fun. Like when you put your glasses on and realize that it's rubbing against the open wound.
Yeah. Oh, and then the next day, everything, like, I woke up and everything that, like, I didn't realize, like, the top of my forearm got ripped open, but it did. Like, all the wounds came more apparent the following morning. And Tommy locked up the brakes and basically almost dumped the thing on its side. And he's a firefighter, EMS. He sprung right into action.
Oh yeah,
and he felt terrible immediately. And basically when he cut the wheel, the cooler slid and hit me in the foot. And kind of knocked me a little loose, so I let go with one hand a little bit to shove the cooler back over, not expecting him to cut the wheel again.
Oh, yeah, completely off balance.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
But he jumped into action. May have slight concussion.
There's no may about it. I'm pretty sure you do.
Vision was blurry, but he checked me and he did all of this stuff, and he started patching me up. We found a few first aid kits, and
I assume Gabby just carries one.
She had one, and then someone else had a little bit more thorough one. So he bandaged me up best he could, and that's one
of those things that everyone should probably have in the trailer, but nobody does. It's like the spare.
I do now.
Yeah, it's like the spare fire extinguisher. You're like, I just got the one. I only need the one. I'll never use it. And then when you use it, you're like, oh, fuck. I need another fire extinguisher.
Exactly.
So guess what my trailer has now?
Yeah, mine now has a pretty solid first aid kit.
Yep. That's also there, and a vacuum. Yeah. That was another thing I didn't think I'd need is a vacuum.
I keep one in my truck. I'm a construction worker. I'm kind of.
You're a contractor.
Whatever. I'm a general contractor. I have all the tools you can ever think of. One of my buddies hit the wall at the track drifting, and it's actually how we became friends. Hey man, like if I've got my truck here, we can straighten that back out. So we gave it a few good tugs with my truck, got the BMW's trunk pulled back out, and then, oh man, if I had a sawzall, I could cut this, and this. Oh, I got one. Here you go. Oh, I need this. Oh, I got that. And then he hit a bunch of broken glass because it blew out the back windshield. I was like, well, here's a vacuum. He's like, what don't you have?
Keep asking. We'll find out.
But, so it was whatever at this point. Sunday morning, I woke up extremely sore. And yeah, I drove the car around the paddock and decided it was in best interest not to drive it on track. My wrist just couldn't handle it. And it's like, if I'm going out there to try to better my time. And to better my time means that I'm sure the car is capable of going faster than it was. I shaved, I think from first lap to my last one, like 7 seconds off in the weekend or 8 seconds off in the weekend. I picked up a lot of time. And I was getting to the point where I was finding the limits of the tires. And it's like, I was going to have to be really wheeling to better my time. And it's like, man, at that point, if I go to do something and my wrist hurts and it stops me from doing it,
yep,
I will be forever mad at myself for stuff in this car. So I just didn't go on track.
Which
is a bummer.
Yeah, it's probably the smart choice.
It's the smart choice.
It was like when Dalton ripped his thumb halfway off and then he went on track that next weekend. I was so nervous for him.
It's fine. I guess technically fits are faster than your 350Z. So
not anymore, but yeah, it can be.
But yeah, his dead thumb. That was a terrible idea. But I made the opposite choice. I was like, you know what? I'm racing in 2 weekends. It's fine. I'll give up a little track time at Mid Ohio.
Yeah.
And Sarah May had some.
She might have brought some logic into the conversation.
Well, and she walked over. I texted her one time while Tommy was patching me up. Hey, I need you to come to the trailer. I don't want you to worry.
Oh boy.
I got a little hurt. Don't worry. Tommy's patched me up. I'm fine. But come on up to the trailer. Okay. And Tommy immediately goes, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. And she goes, it probably isn't all your fault. Before she even heard the story, she's probably not all your fault. And in fairness, she's right. And yeah, it is what it is at this point. It's a funny story to look back on. And I told her if the head wound scars at all, it's going to be my origin story as a villain. So
yeah,
all villains have cool face scars.
Yeah, I'll say it didn't quite get across your eyelid, so it's not quite as cool as it could have been, but. Yeah, I'll take it.
It got down to the eyebrow, but just not into the eyelid.
No, the proper villain has an eyelid scar.
Ideally down to the cheekbone a little bit.
Oh yeah, big one.
Yeah.
We learned that. We learned that in the Lion King.
And yeah, Lion King. That's a good start right there. But other than that, Dalton went out. I think he bettered his time Sunday morning. Devin bettered his time Sunday morning. Saturday, my brother came up to the track, and I took him out for a session, and he's hooked. So in one weekend, I managed to ruin 2 people's lives thanks to Adam Jabay. So in the end, it's Adam Jabay's.
It's Adam Jabay's fault. We wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for him.
My brother and I took him out, and we get done with that session, and we're sitting up on the hill watching Time Attack, or maybe waiting for GLTC to go on. And he's like, all right, you know, where should I start for prepping the Skyline? Because he's got an R32 GTR that he just got done having all sorts of stuff done, and it makes 520 wheel on E85. And
Probably not
Haltech.
Probably not the best place to start on track.
Well, so he can dial it back on the pump, like on normal, just 93, and run a lower setting, and it'd be like 400 horsepower, and it'd be fine.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, but he's like, well, where do we start? And I was like, well, all your fluids need to go. We need new fluids. We need to look at all your calipers. We need to go, order some pads from G-Lock. And let's look at tires. What are your coilovers like? Do we need to replace them? Can they be rebuilt? And it's like we by the end of this, we had a nice spreadsheet going of what needs done in what order, and ballpark costs, and yeah, he's hook, line, and sinker. If they weren't in the middle of a house reno that, like, the whole first floor of their house is getting renoed, he would be coming with me to Lime Rock to hang out. There's still maybe time. He may get scumbagged into driving at Heartland. We'll see.
Yeah, do that. Heartland's gonna be a good event. Definitely do that.
I love that track, and the aerial of it. Everyone looks at it and is like, that doesn't look like that much fun. It's like,
it's a blast.
It flows so well, and it's like, it's a long drive, but it's totally worth it.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and so and Devin's the same way. Devin has done a lot of motorcycle racing at Mid-Ohio and was a motorcycle racing instructor at Mid-Ohio. And currently races Groms and like full leathers. It's a whole thing. But he's hook, line, and sinker. He's like, oh, I think I might go to the pit race one. And I every time someone posts one of the Lime Rock tickets for sale, I send it to him like, do it. And he's like, I can't just, and with a 2-day notice, go across the country. And I was like, all right,
sure you can.
Come with me to Heartland.
Heartland's far enough off that you can plan about it.
You own your own business. You make your own schedule.
Exactly.
So just slowly scumbagging more and more people into it. Sean has been reluctantly putting him off because he knows once he does it, he's in.
Oh yeah.
He's in. Hook, line, and sinker, he's in. And his dad is the one with Sean's dad's the one with the IMSA Fiero that we are.
Oh yeah, that's another car that
trying to get to come to thing.
Yeah, that should be out too.
Yeah, and he's going to. The car is back up and running order. The fuel cell just got refurbished and back in, and that car is on its way to being a thing again. So all in all, I'd say Mid-Ohio was pretty successful, minus some head trauma.
Yet no one's surprised. In fact, we expected more.
Yeah, they were working out a deal trying to pick up a fit. It was a whole thing.
That's right.
I almost forgot about the fit. Yeah. Tommy asked me what my address was, and I thought he was just I didn't know if he was. I didn't think about it. I was like, oh, maybe he's going to meet me at my house to go meet Dalton for dinner. And I was like, wait, Tommy works at the fire station next to my house. He knows where I live. He passes it all the time. And I know he passes it all the time because he sets the sirens off on the fire truck or on the ambulance just to drive my dogs nuts. And, I mean, if there's a fire right now, you will hear him go by.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it, so I just gave my address. And then I get told, by the way, some guy may drop a fit off in your driveway tonight. And I go, what? And they were bartering, trying to figure out how to get this fit for like $300 or $400 delivered to my driveway. And Ryan was going to pick it up and take it back to Iowa or something. I have no idea. I missed a lot of that conversation, and then I just got sprung on me that it may be at my house.
That's all we got too. There's a small group of them that were involved that were actively trying to get that fit, but they wouldn't tell anybody about it because if they did, they wanted it to just show up at your house and then be a surprise, and then that would be good for the content. But it fell.
I would say at least 100 times we heard the phrase, you should do it for the content while we're at Mid-Ohio.
I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
The fans appreciate that.
Before heading to Mid-Ohio from dinner, we stopped at Cabela's and we're looking at things because Dalton needed a pop-up tent. And we found that for I think it was like $470, you can get a cot like Adam sleeps in at Gridlife's, but as a bunk bed.
Oh, no
for
shit.
2 grown men.
No kidding.
And from the looks in the picture, it's only maybe 4 foot tall.
Huh.
And it's great because it's 2 grown men in like outdoor hunting gear in a field, laying in a bunk bed, and the guy on the top's like leaning over to talk to the guy on the bottom. And it's like, what are these grown men doing in a bunk bed in a field and hunting equipment?
That's so
But
weird.
it's 2022. We don't kink shame.
No, we don't. We don't. But why won't you just
ask questions though?
Yeah, why don't you just buy 2 regular cots? Like, why do you have to be on top of each other?
Oh, the better question is, why did they have their cot set up not in a tent?
That too.
Like, it was a weird setting for the picture to be happening.
Yeah, it seems weird that even sells. 'Cause I'm trying to picture a scenario where we would actually use it.
Maybe you have a
cabin, but then wouldn't you, I don't know.
I don't know. Thanks, Cabela's. But yeah, the lots of times just do it for the content. I don't know how many.
Probably as soon as they got out the cooler wakeboard.
Yeah, and the slush machine was a big hit this time again. Hot tub was roaring. He got a new filter set up for that, so
perfect.
That was doing great.
I like how he keeps improving them.
Oh yeah, he never stops. He is a busy man, just always tinkering, and his house is great. Not because Tommy has the rally course in his backyard. It's a narrow yard, real long, real deep, and his neighbor doesn't care about their backyard. So the rally course cuts through a tree line into the neighbor's yard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it's awesome. But he's also got just stuff. Like he's got a steamroller and an old fire truck. He bought porta potties. He bought porta potties because he hosts a Festiva event every year.
Yep.
Where guys drive from all over the country to come to it. And instead of renting porta potties, he bought 3 porta potties and like screwed them all together and turned one of them into a shower. Like he yanked the toilet part out of it, and it's just like one of those boxes.
Yep.
And he installed a shower head and a tankless hot water heater that runs on propane and a shower head. I tried real hard to get him to cut the roof off of it so he could shower under the stars because
that's what he should do,
I've heard it's great.
It's the best.
But yeah, he's got a towel bar in it and like on the door.
Yep.
And then between the door and the actual shower area is a curtain rod with a shower curtain on it, so you can hang your dry stuff on the door on the other, and it keeps it all nice and dry.
That's nice. He's thinking for everybody.
Tommy thinks for everyone, and that's why the hot tub shows up and the slushy machine and all that. He just wants to make sure everyone has a good time. He's a great human.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
But yeah, I would say Mid-Ohio was a successful weekend, and I'm hoping that Lime Rock is just as successful.
Yeah, I'm excited for Lime Rock for all you guys to get to go. So I'm looking forward to hearing Adam's recap of it when he gets back.
So you're ever is on the podcast again.
Yeah, if he's ever on the podcast again, or whoever goes, I could have them on the podcast. They could tell me how great it was. Whatever you do, make sure you remind Adam to do it for the content. So if he's being a fuddy-duddy, just tell him that, no, you have to do this for the content.
I could picture Adam being a fuddy-duddy.
But yeah, Mid-O sounds fun. You had a couple of things you wanted to mention real quick before we wrap this up?
Well, I sent you that one article
of
the saddest news that I've seen all week. That the Dodge Charger and the Dodge Challenger.
Oh, we're doing the news. The news!
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do that. Because this is the news. This is the news presented by Factory Fabrication. FactoryFabrication.com. Eman is bringing back this bit because we haven't done it in like 2 years. So we're going to talk about news. Not only news, relevant news. So if you
Bad
need
news.
sad news, but relevant. So if you need to get caged or railed or custom furniture, not like this piece of shit table I'm sitting in front of, a actual nice table and chairs or railings or anything that you really can think of out of wood or metal, Factory Fabrication's got you covered. FactorFabrication.com. All right, tell me about your sad news. Try.
The Dodge Charger and the Dodge Challenger were announced being phased out in 2023.
So this is it. This is the next year is the last year.
Yeah, and they said they're going to do like a going away, version of the car, and they're going to have a little plaque in the engine bay that says "Last Call." And it's just sad. It is sad to see that go away.
It's we kind of predicted and talked about it, for since the whole time we've had this podcast, that we kind of this day is coming where you're going to see the end of, performance V8s. And anything that's considered a gas guzzler is going to be on the way out. And it's not because people don't want them, but it's because the government doesn't really allow for it to happen anymore.
As this article pointed out, they only were able to hold on to these by spending, I think they said in 2020, they spent $363 million to buy carbon credits from Tesla. So basically $1 million a day to build scat packs.
That's insane. I mean, you can't run a business that way and stay in business.
And I would be curious, what their margins were like for these cars when you factor that portion into it. And it's sad because, you're going to be left with the Mustang, the Camaro, the Corvette, and all of those, I'm sure, as time goes on, the V8 will disappear, and it will be the V6 and the four-cylinder.
Yep. Or everything's going to have to be a hybrid.
Yeah. And it just, I think it's a sad day to realize that. And it's not like I'm a diehard Mopar or no car kind of guy like Adam Nielsen is, but
he proves Dodge boys have more fun.
Yeah.
But it's starting to look like maybe they're not going to have any fun.
Yeah, and it's just it was a sad day to see that. My dad actually sent me that article, and I was just looking at it, and I was just like, I got that like maybe 10 minutes before we started this, and I was reading through, and it's just like, holy crap, that is, they were the last holdouts of that we're gonna put a Hellcat engine in literally everything, and it's like, all right, Dodge will be the last one to fall, and apparently that's not the case.
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely tapping out, and like their PR person tried to spin it in a way. They're like, yeah, we're clearly going electrification, and we're still going to be Dodge through and through. It's just like, sure, but no, you won't. It's not. It's not the same. It will never be the same. But I mean, it's the whole thing is weird because like you see a company like Tesla that's selling $362 or $63 million worth of credits every year. So does that mean another company is going to be buying those credits? Or is Tesla now having to lose $362 million worth of revenue or income or whatever you want to say?
I would have to assume that Tesla's going to take a big hit because, if Dodge of all companies can't handle spending that money to keep V8s around, everyone else has already bailed on it. I know that you can still get V8s in a handful of things, but they're scaling way back that I got to assume no one else is going to bite the bullet and do that.
Well, then I'm also curious how many credits Tesla is selling in general, because if Dodge by itself is buying $362 million worth, what other companies are paying? And like, if you start to take all those away, that's an insane amount of money for a company that doesn't have, like, there's not $20 billion worth of revenue or income. I don't know. I'm not a business guy, but like, it's not $20 million or billion dollars worth of that. Like $360 million is a huge hit to get taken away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd be curious, I'm sure you can dig around on the internet and find the answers, but how many of these companies are surviving on making these V8 cars anymore by buying other people's credits, and how many companies are staying afloat by,
by selling the credits.
Without this money, would Tesla still, be here at this point? Like,
because I mean,
if you take it away from them now, I'm sure they'll continue.
They'll be fine. But even
a few years ago, before they really blew up, like
Tesla was struggling financially, and this is when they were getting $300-something million a year from Dodge. Because I mean, Tesla was flirting with the idea of being bankrupt not that long ago, while Dodge was paying them this kind of money.
Yeah.
So
it's like it's absolutely insane, and it'll be sad. I have a son on the way, and what are kids gonna look up to anymore? You're gonna have to look at the old stuff. There's no more. The Mustang Mach-E isn't exciting.
No. It's for a crossover SUV. It's a decent looking crossover, but it's not a Mustang. I mean, it's not something to get excited about. I mean,
electric cars can be cool looking and they're fast and whatnot, but at Road America last year, I got passed by a Tesla Plaid, and God, that thing's fast.
Oh yeah,
it did nothing for me though. No sound as it goes past you. No, it was nothing to me.
No, I mean, I'm mechanical. I'm a mechanical engineer. It's levers and pulleys and gears. That's me, man. So it's the older I get, the more I appreciate just the analog cars. So your Datsun, a 1970 something Datsun interests me way more than most new cars.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea behind the Barracuda. That's the idea behind the Datsun. That is the Datsun's manual brakes, manual steering, ITVs. Just, it is a car you're in the moment in when you're driving it, and that's what I built it for. I mean, I drove that car had a turbo RB25 for it, and I sold it after driving two 911s back to back. One being a turbo 996, and the other one being an 83 911 that just exhausted an intake.
Mm-hmm.
The turbo one was super cool merging onto the highway because it's made 700 horsepower, but the 83 had a smile on my face the entire time I'm driving it because it's analog, it sounds great, it smells great, just everything together. You're just like, this is driving. This is what I want to be doing. And that's going to go out the window with these EVs and all this other. Just, it's not the same anymore.
Nope. No, if I'm not buying a car with a very specific focus, for racing, I want it to fit into this class, or if I'm buying a car just for me to build, it is going to be shockingly older than what you would think I would buy, because that's what interests me now. That intrigues me.
I don't want to go far back enough where it's hard to drive.
No.
I've driven a Model A,
not
and
like
a Model
that.
T, and God, that has no interest to me. But
no, we're talking 60s, 70s, maybe even older than that. But the analog cars are where it's at for me.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason the 350Z is just kind of to me. It's too easy. It's a great car. It's too easy. And the S13 and 14, being VQ and CD09 swap, they're very similar to the 350Z.
Yep.
But there's just enough where it's on the brink of it's almost there analog wise, and it's I still enjoy driving this. The 350Z is just a little too much.
No, I hear you. I mean, I'm adding all these nannies and things that are, I'm chasing after tenths of a second, things that'll make it faster on track, but at the same time makes it less of an analog car.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a focused car, and the class is GLTC, and that's getting it moving up the ranks in GLTC and making it faster and more competitive, even if it's not something that I'm truly interested in as what I like about the car. But if it makes it faster, well, then that's what I'm going to go after.
You're oddly starting to sound like Mr. Nielsen. At one point, you're like, it's me and the machine, and Adam is sitting across from me going, oh, it's who can build the better mousetrap, and you're like, nah, that's lame. And now you're like, all right, how do I build a mousetrap?
You got to build them. I mean, you got to do it. I mean, I'm very happy with how long I held out because I am the way I've developed as a driver because of it. Like I was on shitty tires for the longest time. I was, anti ABS for the longest time. Like I feel like that's helped me. But
I think,
but now I can start to utilize the tools.
starting with something hard to drive and getting good at it makes you a better driver, in my opinion. I started drifting with an Miata, stock angle, stock power, and everything, and those are terrible drift cars. And I've worked my way up from there, and it's kind of the same thing, starting a slow car and work your way up. And I don't know. I don't see myself getting to that. I get some of the red mist, like when I'm driving on track, I see that car ahead of me. I'm like, all right, time to catch him.
Yep.
And I see the appeal of GLTC and stuff, but I have too much of an appeal of, I really want to enjoy what I'm driving the whole time I'm driving it. So I'm not going to be competitive because I'm going to build what I want to build. So here it is. Like,
Oh yeah.
So it is. I'm worried transitioning into what the other rant is, as we see these cool cars dying off, like if those are your cup of tea, I mean, loud V8s, even if you think they're stupid, a Challenger is a hilariously fun car to drive. It has so much more torque than it needs, and it's a great car they're terrible, but they're so much fun to drive. And, you see this current generation of, car enthusiasts, and they're going in weird directions. And part of it, the blame, in my opinion, social media and stuff like that. And you see these stupid streetcar takeover things, and
It's
just
that I've never
dumbassery.
Yeah, I've never been around it, so I don't know if it's just bigger city stuff or whatever. Because maybe it happens here and I just don't see it. Maybe I'm just that old.
I've
guy
avoided
already.
it. I've avoided it. I'm in a handful of Facebook groups around Columbus, just so I run a Facebook group in Columbus for, basically, we equate it to very similar to Cars and Coffee, but in the evening. Not all of us like waking up early, or it's you wake up early on the weekend and you want to start getting stuff done around your house, and you go to do Cars and Coffee in the evening when it's cooler out and it's more fun to drive at night and all that kind of jazz. So I run a group here in Columbus doing that, and I'm in the other Facebook pages making sure that they're kind of unaware of us, and on top of that, just staying on the other parts of town, because the group that I run, it's a closed group. Anyone that gets invited to join it, I do a 30-second Facebook creep, and it's like, oh, you have a $1,000 Accord on ESR wheels that's 13 colors. You maybe are not the right vibe, which sucks. But man, it really cuts down on the drama or anything like that. We've had zero problems.
Yeah, so you can ruin an event real fast when the wrong person shows up.
We've had zero problems. We see some of the really cool cars that Columbus still has that we haven't seen out in years because there's nothing worth going to anymore. And, Saturday morning I'd go to Cars and Coffee, but my kid has soccer practice or whatever. So we have an alternative now. And it's like, there's a wide body, 600 horsepower turbo first gen NSX on single lug wheels in Columbus.
Oh, shit.
It is sick. If you Google Zach NSX, it comes up. That's all it takes. It's just his first name and NSX, and boom,
that's it.
And there's a bunch of stuff like that, and you're just like, man. So I came up with a place that we can enjoy that, and I sent you some of these this past weekend. I was Mopar Nationals.
Okay, and you sent me this, and I'm like, man, Columbus looks rowdy, and it was a joke, only to realize that these are pictures from Columbus.
Yeah. So Mopar Nationals was just here, and this was a streetcar takeover that happened somewhere. And I mean, there's people standing in the middle of us, two cars doing donuts, and one of them spins out and drives backwards. He goes the other direction. He decides he's going to do donuts the other direction and slams into the other car immediately.
Which happens every time they do these things. Like the videos are always posted online. It's like you see the big crowd, and then the two cars doing donuts, and it's going to end one of two ways. Either the cars are three ways. The car's either going to hit a light pole, they're going to hit each other, or they're going to hit the crowd. Yeah. That's how they always end.
Oh, and it's like, if you went to the driver's meeting, never drive backwards on track.
Yes, they want to.
But I mean, so you had that going on, and this, I always, am a big supporter of, bring your kids to car stuff. That's how you get the next generation into cars. They had a burnout box going, and there was a young female that decided that she was going to start stripping in front of the cars, like flash dance style. She's standing in front of these cars being backlit while they're doing burnouts, and she's, ends up fully naked in public at a car show. And it's just like, what is happening to this society and the car people and things like that? Like, there was someone doing donuts with an AR-15 hanging out the window.
Yeah, so they sent me that picture. Like, they're just that is not
make sense.
Yeah, that's not the look. That's how you lose everything, man. That's how all the good stuff gets taken away with it.
Exactly. And so it's like when we do our, gatherings every couple weeks or whatever, the invite only goes to the people in that group. There's probably 250 people in that group that I've, at least looked at their Facebook and like, yep, you're not a problem. And, it's car content you want to see. It's car people you want to be around. And it works out great. And those nights that we do those things, I constantly am looking at my phone, looking at these other stupid Facebook groups, like, all right, no one knows that we're out here. We don't have to worry about people showing up and ruining this.
Yep, they're over there. They can stay over there.
Exactly. And, it's this generation of, like, this new generation of car enthusiasts that just doing shit for social media. And, as we're losing, and I think it's only going to get worse as Dodge is taking away these cars that people are excited for and work hard to get and stuff. I feel like you work hard to earn something. You're not going to do the stupid shit that they're doing in it. And, we're seeing the downfall of the car society, in my opinion, of people enjoying, they're not enjoying cars. They're just being reckless and being stupid for attention on social media stuff. And then you're losing the cool cars that people work hard to, buy and enjoy. And it's a sad time to be a car person.
Honestly, I haven't done a car event outside of a track in 2 years, probably. It was probably the last time I went to like a Cars and Coffee or done anything that wasn't specifically at a track.
Yeah, and I mean, I try. As you can tell, I'm a social person. I enjoy going to things and talking to people.
That's probably part of it for me, but whereas I'm the opposite.
And I enjoy driving. These meets that I set up. We go do. We have the Triple Nickel State Route 555. It's like Tail of the Dragon turned down to 7.
Yep.
But like we'll go do that, and then we'll go get food somewhere, and all the cars will go, and it's a great time. And you're watching that stuff die off, and it's curious. Our kids do in December or in end of November. It's like what car community is going to be around by the time he's driving that he's going to enjoy. I mean, he'll be at all the Gridlife and seeing that stuff, but getting to drive if you build, like you said, if you build a Datsun, you're going to want to go to things, Cars and Coffee and stuff like that. And that's just, it's gone out the window of that kind of stuff. Cars and Coffee still exists here.
Oh yeah. It's still here too. I just never make it to it, Saturday morning.
Yeah. It got shut down for a while here because guys in, some young guys in a Challenger put it up over a curb into some flower bed and stuff, and a dude in the Evo left two-stepping and it's just like, it's, people get out of hand because it's hey, look at me doing something stupid.
Well, yeah, and there's cameras rolling. I mean, it gets posted the second it happens. I mean, the people that are in it they tag themselves, man. They want people to know who was in that car. I mean, you saw that video from Los Angeles where that guy left the car show and then launched that Tesla, I don't know, Model S or whatever. Just, I think it was, I don't know, Los Angeles or like maybe San Francisco, but like we're really hilly. So he goes down the hill and then gets flat and then gets hilly and just launched it off of that thing. And, they posted it and they were really excited about it. And then they had everyone's just like, you're a fucking idiot. And it's like, I actually wasn't there. I just happened to be there. I wasn't a part of that. The only reason he tried to backpedal is because people are like, no, dude, that's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, like, with the drifting scene. You have the idiots that smash it into a wall and, they pose with their car and stand on it and they're like, it's like, I hit the wall. I looked at it. I understand the risk I take driving the car on track and, all of that. And, I hit the wall. I look at it, cuss a little bit, and then get it back to the pit, see if I can figure out if it's fixable and safe to drive on track and go back out. I'm not going to stand there and pose and be stupid with it. I'm
not proud of the fact that I trashed it.
Yeah. The 3DZ, that car is a tool to me. I have very little attachment to it, and not to sound terrible, I have little mechanical sympathy for it. Yep. I take care of it as I'm supposed to, and I maintain it as you're supposed to. But I mean, I beat the snot out of that car, but it's been built to have the snot beat out of it, and I maintain it to do so. And that car, it got wrecked. I got it fixed as fast as I could. It literally was only wrecked for 6 days total. Like,
yeah,
6 days after the event, it was perfect, good to go. I picked it up. It went straight to Mid-Ohio. And it was just, I don't get this generation and their mindset behind, trashing the second most expensive thing you'll ever buy.
Right. No, I'll never get it. Because, like, shit, I bought that Focus for a song and a dance, and I drive it every day.
Dance for Adam?
Yeah. That's what he asked for.
Oh. For the content.
Yeah, for the content. But I mean, like, even that car too is just like, unless I did like a chop top with it, where that's not the, driving it to work every day isn't the most useful thing for it. But the idea of trashing it doesn't cross my mind. Yeah. And it means nothing to me beyond the fact that it's convenient that I can drive a shitbox to and from work and it costs me next to nothing.
Yeah,
it's nice. Exactly. I appreciate that. But I still don't. I'd still be mad if it got trashed up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And it's like, I have, being a contractor, I have a few guys that work under me, and they'll be loading stuff into the bed of my truck or something, and
just throwing shit.
But it's like, guys, this is not a cheap truck. Well, it's your work truck. I don't care. Doesn't mean you can't take care of it.
Yeah, I don't want you just whipping hammers off the back of the bed.
Yeah, like I was loading things into the bed of it. We had cut down a tree, and I was loading stuff into the bed of it, and I put a branch through my back window. I was pissed. I mean, it was $135, and like 4 hours later, I had a new window, but I was still pissed.
But I did this. I did the same thing at Road America when I had to detach the trailer from my truck. So I was, because the electric lift gate, or the lift, whatever you want to call that thing, is broken.
Tailgate?
Not the tailgate. The lift on the trailer.
You're fancy.
Well, it came with one, but it's been broken since I bought the trailer. So I would just use the handle, and I was doing it with the handle, and it slipped, and it like fell and hit against the back of my tailgate and scratched it. I was so mad at myself. Just like one tiny little scratch. And then I went and bought a brand new one like the next week because I didn't want to do that again.
And I don't get it. And at this point, we just sound like two old guys complaining about this generation.
These
shaking our fists at the
kids
clouds,
these days, yeah.
But I mean, it's something I genuinely think about. Like when I'm driving around, and I'll see some kid drive past me in the bounciest looking, Focus ST because it's on cut springs or max speeding rods or whatever dumb coilovers he found on eBay, and the wheels fit terribly. Like I'm all about good fitment. Don't get me wrong. That's just I'm all about great fitment and that kind of stuff. There's a line, and but you see this crap driving by you, and it's like a chrome tinted windshield, and it's like, are you trying to go to jail? Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I saw a limo tinted front windshield for it'd been years since I'd seen someone do that. And I saw one the other day. I was like, I double take. I was like, is this dude serious right now?
I see the front window tint fairly regularly here, but
no, definitely not here.
Like
they'll tow it for that.
There's more and more cars I'm seeing that are like doing like the chrome mirrored tint.
Ugh,
and
gross.
They'll do the windshield. And it's like, if you have a front windshield tinted,
they will tow that shit here. For like you don't get a ticket. It gets towed.
I would think the same happens here. And what's funny to me is like, if your back and side windows are really tinted, your front window is going to look naturally kind of dark, and it's a little less suspicious when your front window's dark.
Yeah.
But when it's chrome, it's like, what are you...
Look at me.
And it's weird. I know it sounds hypocritical as someone that's into drifting to go, yeah, look at this idiot, but at the same time, man, I can't grasp it. And I don't know. I have no idea where this rant's headed. I'm sorry, everyone, but
me neither.
Frustrating.
Streetcar takeovers are not. We're not into it.
You're ruining the car scene.
Nope. I was into the parking garage takeover and sitting and talking that we did with when we used to do it here in town. That was cool.
Yeah.
But it was an organized event. They rented the parking garage.
We do that now, but we do it in parking. There's a low car friendly parking garage that's like a few streets back that no one really knows about because it's behind a few businesses. But it's low car friendly. It's if you're there for 4 hours, it's only a couple bucks.
Yep.
And it's just that couple bucks keeps that kid with the heap of shit Civic no one wants to see out, which is hilarious to me. And it's it's weird, and I don't know if it's just growing up or whatever, but it's like this is the first time in I don't know how long my dad came down to a drift day. Like he came out to one when I was maybe 19 or 20, and he came out like when gates were and not when the track went hot, and he left before drifting even started. But he stayed and he watched and saw me tandeming and all that fun stuff, and it was kind of a proud moment. And if it wasn't for eye surgery and stuff, he would have been up at Mid Ohio. And at the drift event, there's some things going on. And you're just like, this is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, like when you're tunnel visioned into it and you're in there and you're like you don't even think about it. But as soon as you bring someone else in, and then you're like you second guess everything. Oh, maybe that's not the look I'm going for. Well, the only thing I can compare it to is like you're watching a movie that you've loved your entire life, and then the person you're trying to show it to has never seen it. So then you're watching it, and it turns out it's like, oh, this isn't as good as I realized. And now I'm embarrassed because I thought I told you how great it was, and now I'm like rewatching it for the first time in 5 years. It's like, oh, okay, maybe that scene's not as funny as I remember.
That what happened when you showed Jurassic Park?
Oh God, no.
You walked right into that, by the way.
I know. I figured you'd like shit on all my favorite movies for saying that, but
really, I just go straight to Jurassic Park.
How dare you?
You're welcome.
Actually, the newest Jurassic World, because I saw it without her and then watched it again with her, and like when I watched it the first time, I thought like, it's not that bad. Like I understand where the complaints are, but then when I watched it a second time, having seen it all the way through, so I could focus on like little things I didn't notice the first time, and she's watching it for the first time, so I'm like watching her reaction to my reaction. It's like, oh, this is fucking garbage.
That's fair.
So that was where where it was like fresh in my mind.
Well, I think we've done a show. Should we? We haven't talked about Petrobox. We
I know.
probably should.
I actually have the Petrobox website, mypetrobox.com. It's open right now. Use code TTP15. You get 15% off your first box or anything available in the store. Christmas is coming faster than you realize, so that would be the perfect gift. As well as if you want to go through and like pick things out from the shop. It's about that time of the month where I get my box on my doorstep.
It should be.
What do you mean it should be?
We had a slight hiccup with our T-shirts this month.
Oh, shoot.
Thanks to coronavirus. So we are a little delayed this month. I apologize for any listeners that are our Petrobox subscribers. If you look at the screen at the moment, there is another eBay gift card for $15. It may be a little backwards as I look at my camera, but we'll find out.
No, we can read it.
Oh, perfect. There you go. You can read that. That's a $15 gift card. We'll see who the first is to use that as well. Actually, if you use one of the gift cards I've shown randomly throughout this post, please post in the consortium and let us know what you bought with your $15 gift card.
And there's no minimum purchase. Like if you buy something that's $15.01, you will pay 1 cent. It's perfect.
Here's another one, might as well. And yeah, if it's $15, you pay the dollar of tax, and that's literally it. There's been some entertaining purchases that I have seen come through that are, yeah. My cards have a weird amount of underglow now. It's great.
There's a lot of $15 underglow out there.
There's all sorts of underglow for that price, especially if you want to go interior, because drift cars, you need to, the inside needs to glow too. And just, it's like a $15 off coupon. You know how many tires I have to buy in a season? Not that I use these.
Well, it was really funny because like when you guys got the stack of those, and you're like, it's you get your first Petrobox, and then you get $15 back instantly.
There was 2 of them in that box. You got 30.
It's basically a free box.
Basically, I mean, we basically paid you guys to get that box.
Yep.
And see what kind of magic I can work at PRI. We are in the talks about SEMA at the moment. Luckily, that falls, a solid 3 weeks before my wife's due. So,
yeah, plenty of time. Plenty of time. Yeah,
especially because she wants to come with us. So, yeah,
perfect.
Figure that out. You know what the saddest tragedy of Mid Ohio was that we didn't even talk about?
That I wasn't there.
We did. In all of my wounds, I got this awesome, this tattoo right here on my forearm that my wife designed. And
did she tattoo it?
She didn't tattoo this. She designed it, though. My artist did it.
So Sarah is a tattoo apprentice at the moment. So she is still working her way up. It's super exciting. So she's just doing like artwork still, or is she actually putting needle to skin yet?
No needle to skin yet. She's doing artwork, tear down, set up, all that fun stuff. And we'll be, starting to practice and that kind of jazz. But the pregnancy slowed her down a little bit with that, but she's getting back on that. But she designed this, and I got this the Friday before headed to the track. So less than a week.
Yep.
It was a week old, and I
just
ripped a lot of
slammed it into the dirt.
And it scabbed 30% of it. Yeah, road rash and a less than a week old tattoo was.
Yikes. That one might need a little extra touching up.
Yeah, we'll see how it heals up. One of these times you have to come to Mid Ohio, and we'll time it out, and you get a tattoo while you're here.
Okay. You
can match my 1010s podcast tattoo with mine has the words.
So
don't tell me it doesn't.
It doesn't match the logo exactly, but it's fine.
It's better than your 1010s podcast tattoo.
That's because you care about the podcast more than I do.
Wow. I also have a Petrobox one, and I got to figure out a deal with Jabe. I'll get a Gridlife one. Figure it out.
So we were one position away from me getting my my people ain't no good tattoo at High Plains.
Good. If Jabe helps me get a driver's ticket for Midwest Fest, I'll get a Gridlife tattoo.
Perfect.
Oh,
All right, and we also got to thank Apex Pro. That's apextrackcoach.com. He used mine, the one that I've been using the last couple of years at Mid-Ohio, made him faster. And now he's going to go through data with Joe Johnson, and he's going to get even faster. And
this time I'm going to use your little dongle.
The OBD2 dongle, because I
didn't realize I had it. It was so small. I looked over your dongle.
Yep, it was really funny because I was kind of planning ahead for Alpine, like, way in advance. So I was looking for, I knew you had the units, and I could have swore I did
have a unit.
Yes, 3 of them actually. And I could have swore I didn't give the OBD2 dongle to Adam to give to you. So I was looking through my bag for it. I'm like, what the? I just had this. So then I text you, and you're like, no, I don't have it. And then I text Adam. I was like, did you take that? Because I'm looking for it, and I don't want to keep looking for it because I'm pretty sure you took it to give to Eman. He's like, oh, yeah, it's in Eman's bag. How about you go look in your bag, Eman? Oh, yeah. Turns out I do have it. But I'm pretty excited because I have plans for how to incorporate all the data from the OBD2 as well when I do my next data review.
Yeah, I'm tempted to spend the money and see, talk to Andrew Rains about going through my data, but I don't think I'm smart enough to gather all the information from it.
Well, the fun thing is he'll record the session so you can watch it over and over. So if there's something that doesn't stick, you can watch it later and it'll stick later. So so when you do the coaching session with Andrew with a data review, he will make a video of it. He'll record the whole thing, post it on YouTube as a private link, and then you'll get the link to it. So then you can watch it over and over again. I did that with the data that we got from NOLA. So So after the NPO1 race, because I know I'm not driving that car anywhere near where its limits are. So I had Andrew and I sit down and we went through my data. We compared it to like Josh's data, who was a second and a half faster than me, I think, maybe 2 seconds, and who was much more comfortable in the car. And so we were able to see where he was making speed and where I was clearly hesitant to push the car. So I was able to kind of talk through that, and I mean it was so useful.
Can you use that with a GoPro, or do you have to use your phone for the footage?
You can drop him the data, or email him the data, and he can pull it up, and so he'll have it on the screen while you guys are going through it. It's basically a Zoom call like we're doing right now, but he'll share his screen, which will be his iPad, which will have all the data on it, and he'll just walk right through it.
Well,
super
because I was looking
useful.
at buying or paying for GoPro with it, or video with it.
Yeah. I mean, video always helps too, because you can see what the driver is doing, like what your hands are doing, where you're looking. So like anything that you can add to it is helpful. So like, I mean, yeah, if you can have the speed trace, that's helpful. But then if you can also see what the throttle is doing, what your brakes are doing, like if your car is capable of that type of OBD stuff, so like it'll show you what throttle percentage, brake percentage, like pressure. Or if you have video, you can see like, this is clearly a left turn, but you're looking to the right. Like what, that's why you're slow here, is because you're looking over there. Like what are you doing? So just and anything that you can add to it, you can really start to dissect, like, the turn's over there, man. Like what, you're clearly not even looking over there. Of course you're going to miss it.
I think I'm going to look at diving into that. I think the 3G's OBD2 stuff is decent. I'm not sure. I'm assuming ours are basically the same. So
should be. Mine's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, like the drive-by-wire stuff gives throttle position and all anything the OBD2 reads. So
I could use that in the S13 and the S14 because they all have OBD2 from the 3GZ.
Yep.
The drive-by-wire stuff. That's interesting. I want to talk to him about. I was told that with some modifications, it could be used as a way for drifting, and I kind of want to chat with him about that. It seems like it'd be a fun time.
We haven't got he's mentioned it a few times. We haven't gone into the specifics of it, but I know he thinks that there's clearly some way to utilize it in drifting. So I think having someone that's good at drifting as a guinea pig wouldn't hurt either.
Use that term good loosely.
I did. I because I'm not an asshole. I mean, I am, but Not all the time.
Only when other people aren't around. Robbie's really nice to you if you get up at like 6 a.m. with him at the racetrack and have breakfast with him.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, Road America and Heartland, you and I had mini bowls of cereal, just nice
us.
And quiet morning.
I like that.
We'll do it again at Heartland.
I've been told a handful of times that I'm not what they expected me to be like based on who they thought I was on the podcast. I was like, yeah, because I have to be loud and opinionated on the podcast.
Well, and you can't do an Irish goodbye on the podcast.
No.
I mean, you could just cut it and just
I'll be right back.
Gone. Finish the podcast and I'll be right back. And there'll just be dead air for like 20 minutes and then cut the recording.
I like it.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. ApexTrackCoach.com. Use the code 10tenths. Get 10% off with the Gen 2 and the window mount. Eman, I appreciate you coming on and talking about Mid-O and all the other random stuff we've talked about. And you brought back our news bit. It's not back permanently. This is a one-time thing. Until
something else ridiculous happens. The next news bit is going to be Tesla goes out of business because they're $360 million short.
Yeah, because they can't sell credits anymore.
At Lime Rock, I'll make sure to get you good pictures.
I appreciate that because we'll definitely need them. Because if Adam's going, I will not get good pictures.
I'll get you good pictures, and it'll be good We'll do it for the content.
Thank you. The fans.
Circuit Legends looks sick. Adam Dubay and his crew, I think, will put together a really neat event.
They really
have drifting.
Yep, and they're gonna have some incredible cars that you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that from that magazine from the 90s.
There's quite a few. I've seen a few teasers, and it's just like, oh man, that is some business.
Yep, there's gonna be some good stuff there. So I'm definitely missing out by not being there.
There's still time to get a flight, man. I got room in the truck.
I'll be right back. All right, we'll catch everybody next week.